YouTube? I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm very excited to check out Castellan from Steve Jackson Games. This is for 2 players, take about 30 to 45 minutes to play, and it's for ages 10 plus. And in Castellan, you are going to be building a castle with these nice plastic pieces, putting your colored keeps in there and trying to score the most points in what is essentially a gamery version of the dot game. I also want to mention you can play this as a 3 or 4 player game if you get a different colored set. I don't have a different colored set, so I'm going to be reviewing it purely as a 2-player game. It is a light, simple, abstract-ish game, but is it good? Let's open it up. I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're to get inside of Castellan. So first and foremost, we got a handy-dandy rule booklet, 2 large pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples, and it's an incredibly well-done rule booklet that should have you up and running in no time at all. I read it once, I knew exactly what was going on, and I never had any more questions about the game, so big thumbs up on the rule booklet. In Castellan, you are going to be taking your blue cards or red cards, which will be identical decks of cards, and then you are going to get the pieces that are on the cards, and you will be building a castle with those said pieces, trying to have the most points at the end of the game. It's kind of like a gamery version of the dot game, where it had all those little dots and you had to connect them, and when you filled the boxes, you got to put your letter in there, and whoever had the most points at the end was the winner. It's kind of like that, but let's go over the components. Let's get into the gameplay. So first, I want to give a big shout out to the box insert. The box insert nicely holds everything. Very nice box insert. But you're going to have a couple different kinds of pieces. You're going to have these pieces right here, which are the most important pieces in the game because these are the edge connectors, obviously, so you'll need these to build castles, but also because each one of these is going to be worth a point if it surrounds your keep, and these are going to be the keeps right here. You'll have blue keeps and red keeps, obviously, for the blue and red player. Next, you're going to have long walls, and then you are going to have short walls. It's pretty self-explanatory. These are the long ones, and these are the short ones. Glad we had that talk. But last but not least, we have the cards. So let's talk about the cards. Everyone's going to, well, both players are going to have the same number of cards, and the cards are slightly different. So you're going to have 2 different stacks of cards. You're going to have these cards right here, which will guarantee you that you're going to get one of these pieces right here, which I really remember what they were called, but it's going to guarantee you that you are going to have towers, at least one of those towers. So each one of those, as you can see, will have at least 1 tower. Likewise, you're going to have this stack over here, which you guessed it will guarantee that you're going to have at least 1 wall on it. And the cards are very simple to read. So this one you get a small one, a large one, and then you're also going to get to draw a card. So that could be very useful as well. Some of them will have draw cards. And as I mentioned, all the cards, each player is going to have the same number of cards. But let's get into how the actual game is played because it's a very simple game. So the first thing you are going to do is you're going to look at your cards. When you first start the game, you will have 2 of these and 2 of these. So you're going to look at your cards and you're going to choose as many of these cards as you want to play. You have to play at least 1, I do believe. I don't know why you would ever not want to play 1, to be brutally honest with you, but you're going to play at least 1 card, and you can play as many cards as you have in your hand. You play it down, and then you acquire all the pieces there. So let's just say I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off early scoring, and I'm going to get this one. This looks like a good start right here. I'm going to get these 3 right here. So I'm going to get myself 4 towers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to get myself 1, 2, 3, 4 small walls, not to be confused with Paul Wall. And then I'm going to get 3 of the long towers. So I get 3, and now these cards are done. They're completely out of the game. So you're going to take these, you put them back in the box, you will not get them any longer. I still have 1 card left over, which I will carry on to the next turn. But now I'm going to try to put together as much of this as I can to score points or to set myself up for bigger points later in the game. And as you can see, they connect very easily, and it looks really stinking cool. It makes really cool table appeal. So I might go like this. Yeah, we'll start it off like this. So this probably isn't the ideal thing to do, but you know what? It will score me some points right now, so I'll go ahead and do that. And since I did complete an enclosed area, I put my tower in there. Now this means at the end of the game, at least for this particular one, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 points, which is fantastic. You got 4 points there. Also, once during the game, when you play one of your keeps, only once, you'll be able to double it by playing a double keep, which will double your score, so this would be worth 8 points. I probably wouldn't play it here because it's pretty low points, but still, that's nice to know. Then you also have to place your other pieces as well, so I'll go ahead and place this one right here, this one right there, and we'll play this one right here, just because. At the end of your turn, you're going to draw 1 card from either one of your piles, and then that is the end of your turn. So you know what? I know for sure I'm going to want at least one of these guys, so I'll do that. So the next player is going to go, and he's going to continue to build on it. They'll play as many cards as they want. Then they'll play their tiles, and then they'll draw 1 card. Then it gets back to me. So let's see what I got here. I have draw a card. Yeah, you know what? Actually, you get it. You're going to continue to do this until someone has played all their cards. Once someone has played all their cards, the other player will get 1 more turn. And on that last person's turn, they're going to draw all their cards up. They're going to play 1 turn, and then you're going to tally up the points. But I want to show you something interesting about this game. So let's say that this had happened instead. That I had played it like this. Because just because you place a tower does not necessarily mean that the area can't score more points or it can't be closed off, or a variety of different things couldn't still happen. So this would have to go like this, and then boom. So let's say I closed this one off. This one would definitely be one I would want to consider doubling, because look how many points I'm getting. I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points right here. Boom, boom. So I might double that. But here's the interesting aspect of this game. I don't score those points immediately. So what my opponent might do is they might come up and they might go like this. They might do that, which means, boom, they just cut me off from 2, essentially 4 points, and they picked up points themselves. So just because you do that does not mean your points are limited. So what I might turn around and do is I might go back and I might go in like this, because now that's going to pick me up 2 extra points, because now that is right there. I cannot build anything else, though, on here, because you can't, when you close something off, you have to literally close it off. So even though this is pretty much, for all intents and purposes, closed off, since that is not being occupied by anything by one of these guys, that does not count. But anywho, you're going to continue to do this until someone has completely played all their cards, at which points the last person will get 1 more turn. You'll total up the points. Whoever has those points will be the winner of Castellan. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, Castellan from Steve Jackson Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, 2 players aren't very restrictive player count. Now, you can play with 3 and 4 players, but you're going to have to buy a whole other set of the game, which will definitely be a little bit of a bummer. It's going to double your price. Another comment I have with this game is that it is still an abstract strategy game. While there is a theme there of putting together the castle, and the pieces really do a good job of bringing the building a castle theme into the game, it's still at its core is an abstract game. It's a very light, simple abstract game. With that, you're just going to have cards in your hand, you're going to pick which ones you want to play, you're going to put together the pieces, then you're going to draw 1 card, and you're going to rinse, wash, repeat, you're going to do it over and over again. Which means it's also going to be a repetitive game, because you're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. Also, you can get into certain situations where it's like, oh, I'm only drawing 1 card a turn. Like, once you spend all 4 of your cards, if you're not drawing the draw another card turn, you might have a couple turns in a row. And I've had this happen where it's like, all right, I have 1 card, I'm going to play it. I have 1 card, I'm going to play it. I have 1 card, I'm going to play it. Oh, finally, I got a draw card. So now next turn I might have 2 potential cards to play instead of just 1. And that can be a little bit of a bummer, a little bit of a slog. Another comment of this game is that it says 30 to 45 minutes. I have not had that experience yet. Maybe I'm just not overthinking it. The people I'm playing with aren't overthinking it. But it's actually a little bit shorter than that. I thought it was more around the 20 to 30 minute time frame, which is actually a pro, but still something that I wanted to mention. Any other cons that I have with the game? No, I mean, you got to go into it knowing it's a light, simple, abstract strategy game that's only for 2 players. But if that doesn't scare you away, I actually enjoyed this game. I think it's a great game. I think it is a great 2-player abstract strategy game. And if you watch my channel, you know abstract strategy games are one of my least favorite genres of games. They probably are. I mean, I review less war games, but I actually like war games better. I just have a hard time getting them to the table. But abstract strategy games, they just never do it for me. But this one does. I liked it. It was easy to learn. It was easy to teach. It did not say its welcome. It has fantastic components. It has great table appeal. People will watch the game. There is definitely some strategy here on what you're going to be doing, and I like that aspect of the game. It's not a high strategy, but I think this is a fantastic two-player family game. I also think if you're not into meatier games, I think this is a good two-player couples game if you play games with your significant other or your FWB. I don't care who you're playing with, anybody. I think it's a good two-player game. Once you get it out of the box, I mean, as you can see, because it comes with another box that they have just for showcasing all the cool pieces, which I think is a great idea. But it does not outstay its shelf space. It's a pretty small box, and I like the fact it has a nice little box insert where it can organize everything pretty well. And overall, Castellan went over really well with the adult that I played it with. It went over really well with the kids I played it with in my classroom. I was playing this with, I think, an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an 11-year-old, and they all really enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the game myself, and it's one that I'm going to be keeping, despite the fact I normally don't keep too many abstract strategy games. This is one that I will be keeping, and I'd love to get a 3- or 4-player expansion in the future to see how that plays. But for now, Castellan, Steve Jackson game, definitely one that I can recommend. It is a great abstract strategy game, and I think if you like abstract strategy games, I think you're going to like it even better than I do, personally. So that is Castellan. Also, yes, in case you were curious, I think this is a great gateway game as well. There's nothing too complex here. I think you could easily play this with someone who is a non-gamer. And this could be, you know what, I actually think this would be a really great gateway game, now that I think about it, because I think most people have played the dot game, especially if you're a non-gamer. I think most people have played the dot game where it has all the little dots and you have to connect the lines and you fill in the letters. And this is definitely that, but on steroids, and I think people who like that will really dig this. So yes, Castellan, I enjoy it. I'm keeping it. Be sure to check it out. It looks like it might be your cup of tea. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below and in the comments below. Let me know, what is your favorite abstract strategy game of all time? Oh my god, why did I ask this? I have no idea. I'm sure there's one that I just can't think of, but none of them really come to my mind, which is a testament to how much I don't generally like abstract strategy games. Because I'm thinking about it. I'm actually, I was working on my top 100 games of all time just about a month ago, just kind of getting names of games together and kind of just compiling them, and I don't think I saw any abstract strategy games at all. Off the top of my head, I think Got 'em from Calliope Games might be my favorite abstract strategy game. A little game where you're just going to be laying down these little tiles and you're sticking them into the board and you're making this kind of maze-looking thing. That game I really do enjoy, but this one definitely, I think it's probably in my top 5 or 10. Not that that's saying much because I don't really like the genre that much. But let me know in the comments below. What is your favorite abstract strategy game of all time? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.